So this is really cool. It's a glitch I discovered recently that'll let you use another glitch called quick menu anywhere. I have a whole separate video on quick menu, but I'm just gonna focus on the actual variation in this video. It isn't too complicated itself, but first thing we need to do is equip frog effect in the chair so that we can have a toggleable sitting state. For those of you who don't know, when you're supposed to be sitting and moving in Yume Nikki, you can sometimes make it so that you have a 13-second timer, and after that 13-second timer is over, it'll force you to sit down, which you're going to see here coming up. I'm going to sit down. So after we sit down, before we get forced to completely sit down all the way, we need to equip cat effect. So after we get forced to sit down, we'll be in this weird state where if we press X, it'll set our menu value, but the menu won't actually be there. So if we were to press it twice, it wouldn't be there when we used it. If we only press it once, it will be there after we use it. So after doing that and getting the menu open, you need to open the instructions, and you should be able to use cat effect a little bit after you open the instructions. Another thing that's really interesting, as you can see, it turns you invisible. That's because something with the instructions itself. But another thing you'll see is that it'll actually store the BGM for where you were last. So you'll hear the Puddle World BGM right here when it's not supposed to be there. Here are a few more examples of that. Alright, so on to the final glitch. Okay, so this one is definitely the most broken and the craziest. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that thing and go into the witch event. And something you should know, you need to make sure you move to the last part of the instructions, because you'll see what happens here in a second. If you don't move to the last part of the instructions, you'll actually a lot of the time get sent back, because I think it stores more than one action button press or something like that. You can sometimes do it without, but you'll see right here, you're gonna get sent back after this. And that's because you didn't move to the last page of the menu. So if you see here, I'm moving to the last page of the menu. And then we're just gonna walk out and equip the witch effect. Now, again, make sure not to press Z anytime during this, because you'll reopen the instructions. And so as you can see here, we're actually moving around in the witch event like it's an actual level itself. Which is pretty crazy, honestly. There's a lot of other crazy things you can do with this. You can equip effects as you see here. You can actually use meta mod during this, and I tested it with Hourglass like frame perfectly. You can actually use meta mod in a way that you'll wake up and go back to the Nexus, but you can use it at a very specific time where you use it and you go to the Nexus and then you wake up. I try to do it here, but it's really precise and I didn't get it. But yeah, anyways, that was this crazy new glitch in Yume Nikki. I'm so surprised it exists at all. It's just ridiculous.